Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians cast. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm doing this unexpectedly because I'm up. And before I go back to sleep, I wanted to give my thoughts about the episode Lucky Day. Um, Once again, I'm in a situation where I did not expect I was going to hate this episode, and I did. I really am having trouble and problems with this season so far because it's hot and cold, hot and cold. Um, we are at the halfway point, 4 episodes shown. I like to and I hate to, which is really, really not in a good place. And I have my own opinions on what the hell is going on with this season. Now, as you know, we heard that originally when they were filming season two, that Russell was not happy with Millie Gibson and she was complaining about filming at night. And then all of a sudden he got rid of her. And then he got a companion out of nowhere, which would have meant that all the scripts got changed or messed up or whatever. And the whole entire season would be changed and messed up. Now, clearly, I feel that this is going in a negative direction, but I'm going to bring in people and we're going to talk about it.
Hello.
Hello, Louie, you're live. How are you? Hello, Louie, you're live. You hear me?
Hello.
Hello, Louie, you're live. You hear me?
Oh, sorry, I didn't. I can hear you now. Sorry.
You're live.
Hello. Oh, we're live. Hello, everyone.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing really well, thank you. How are you doing?
All right. So, what's your thoughts on the episode before I get into mine? I already said what I had to say in the video, so.
Okay, I did see your video actually, and I've got a few things I was going to ask you. But just quickly, Connor said, could he have the link?
Yeah, my computer's slow. I'm trying to get.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Whilst you do that, I'll say what I thought. So wasn't really looking forward to it. I was a bit like, oh, we kind of built a bit of momentum, and I just feel this is going to slow us down going back to Ruby, who I do like, but I was just like, I can't be bothered, really. I'd rather just keep going with the Doctor and Belinda. But I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good episode. It sets up the finale. I'm not sure how aware you are of leaks and filming, but I think Comrade's got the potential to be quite a good villain. I think Mrs. Flood is obviously going to be playing on his weaknesses a bit, manipulating him. Yeah, I thought they kind of, it was a good, not only setup for the finale, but the unit spin-off as well. I did find it a bit weird that when all this unit thing was happening, they never mentioned Donna, who's obviously working for them now.
Correct.
Where was she in all of this? Where's the 14th Doctor? I thought it was probably Shooty's best performance as a Doctor, that final scene. I liked how he played it quite cruel. I really liked that. I like how they're kind of answer it. We're getting little payoffs. We now know why he went and picked up Belinda.
Yes.
Because in Robot Revolution he says, "Why is that?" So that was interesting. Yeah, overall I thought it was strong. It's not the weakest of this season. For me, that was Lux. I thought that was the worst episode I think I've ever seen.
Yeah,
that was awful. And I think me and you might be the only people that think that, because everyone else is telling me it's like the next best thing, but I can't get my head around that.
Very much, yeah.
But for me, I would say not as good as last week, but it was good. It was decent. Could have been a lot more.
All right.
Hey, Connor.
Hello.
What's going on, bro?
Yeah, not much.
What'd you think?
I quite liked it, but for me it was like an episode of two halves. So the first half, the first like 20 minutes, I think were a bit slow.
Right.
I didn't really care for the whole setup. It was necessary because obviously then the payoff with Conrad turning after the stunt in the village wouldn't have been as kind of not so much shocking because we knew he was going to be a villain, but
Right.
it wouldn't have been as much of a surprise, I suppose. I think as far as Dr. Light stories go, it was quite strong in the fact that I think it touched on an interesting. I know that you disagree with this entirely, and you don't think that the whole thing about cancel culture and post-truth and reality is something that should be touched upon. But I felt like it was a really interesting kind of angle to come from. Like the best way to describe it, I think, is like Love and Monsters, but good.
Yeah, I
In
heard
the
you
fact
say
that
that.
it focuses on someone that has been
See,
affected by someone has been affected by the Doctor in a kind of secondary way, and then he's kind of dedicated his whole life to
See, I
knowing the
have
truth
trouble
about.
with that because I'm kind of confused by that whole situation. But again, I'll let you finish saying what you were saying.
Yeah, so I feel like as far as character writing goes, it was really great. I thought that this was probably the best written episode for Kate Stewart that we've ever had. I mean, it only took 14 years for
I
her
agree with you on that 100%,
to do
actually.
anything. And I thought when she let the squeak go to just prove her point and prove the point of the whole of unit essentially, which was being torn down by these internet keyboard warriors, was a very interesting kind of aspect to her character because we've never really seen her do something so intentionally kind of like
I
that could have
think
been
that was quite stupid because she could have got the whole operation shut down for that.
that's what I
Plus,
mean.
there's no way she would still be standing after that.
I
She'd be
mean, it
so
was
fired.
already unit was already done because of this guy causing so much problems. So she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
Oh well.
it was very it was
It
very
was over basically. This fucking loser had the power to fucking shut them down after decades because this bullshit
They
cancel
weren't shut
culture.
down. They weren't shut down
No, they
completely though.
weren't. No, they're not. But still,
their reputation was pretty much shot.
I
But I
think
think
she's
like
got their reputation now. Sorry.
as far as her character goes, it was probably the most interesting aspect of her character that we've seen so far, in the fact that she would actually go to them lengths to protect her father's legacy. And I just felt like, as far as all the characters goes, it was just incredibly well written on that point. I think that, like I said, that the first half was a little bit slow, but as soon as it got to the village and Conrad turned and revealed that he was part of Think Tank, it got into a bit of a purple patch. And I feel like after last week, that's the kind of consistency that we've been looking for the last 2 or 3 years. It's just a few good episodes in a row.
yeah.
And I thought that the subject matter was incredibly interesting and well handled. I can see why it's divisive because, like, to some people, it can be seen as preachy. It can be seen as like too much of a social commentary. It has no place in Doctor Who. I can see all the angles with this. And to be honest, at first, my first major grumble came like 2 minutes in when I thought this is literally just ripping off Love and Monsters. Like there's no originality here. But then it kind of spun around into being about Conrad is this influencer that
A
wants to
podcast, an evil podcaster.
yeah, essentially an evil podcaster, and it was an interesting kind
Yeah,
of angle.
they are audition.
I like the fact as well that for once in Doctor Who, and I can't remember the last time this actually happened, because usually they're kind of like a part in some other alien's greater plan, is that a human being came into the equation and just caused absolute havoc
Right.
for the kind of established characters, because like he's not an alien that we know of himself. That might turn out to be the case in the finale, that he's actually an alien, because obviously there's a whole mind control aspect to come. But He.
I hope he is.
You hope he is?
No, I hope he isn't. I think it's more interesting, like you said. It's very rare you get just a evil human that's exploiting the aliens, and I think that's a better take to go with than just.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And it was just, I thought that the kind of when he just walked into the headquarters with the gun and everything, like that's a better interesting situation to me than seeing the Doctor face up against the screen. Like the Doctor could have come in there and solved it all in 10 minutes, to be honest, but he didn't. It was left to like these people that aren't necessarily always used to being in that kind of situation without the Doctor.
Right.
And he was lying as well and believing his own lies. Like he got so deluded. It was probably, like a crazy podcast host from the community who was casting Doctor Who.
Literally, it was like less Doctor Who and more kind of like an episode of CSI kind of thing.
I mean, it's basically leading into the Unit spinoff. I think that was the purpose, is to show Unit on their own, how do they react to stuff, and that we're going to get a very dark Unit spinoff.
There was a line about Mel being in the Sydney Harbour, which apparently is about the Sea Devils, and that's kind of what.
You've just reminded me that Pete Matigue is writing for War Between Land and Sea as well, which makes it even more interesting to me now, because I think
this is definitely a lead-in to get us used to the Unit spinoff, which I'm 100% on board with. With Kate Stewart being a badass.
If he can write Unit as well as he did in this episode throughout a whole series with RCD, then it might actually pay off as a
like. I agree with you. I think he handled Unit perfectly. I mean, I like her being a badass, saying "fuck it, this little piece of shit caused all this havoc. We're done. What the fuck? Who open the fucking doors? Fuck it." It's like, see, my problem is like I'm trying to. Maybe you could help me with this, Connor. I'm trying to see, because I feel that something is very wrong with the show, and we know that Millie Gibson was complaining about filming, and then all of a sudden, abruptly, she was blackballed. She was bashed in the press. She was let go. They grabbed this companion out of nowhere, which would have meant all the scripts would have changed.
The scripts weren't changed. That's not true. There's exactly the same thing that happened between Series 3 and Series 4.
How do you know the scripts weren't changed? Because she was supposed to be the companion for the whole season.
She wasn't. She never was.
I think I think Belinda was always the plan, because I think that Belinda has a bigger role in this than is currently being made out. So I think that it was always the plan to kind of have.
Well, even at the minute.
This huge story happen with
the problem I have is like, you paint the picture of Ruby Sunday as she basically defeated Sutek herself. She's strong. She left in a good place at the end of season 1, and now she has PTSD. She's paranoid. I mean, what the fuck happened?
Well, it's quite realistic.
I don't understand what happened.
But that's what happened with like Donna. She was offered to go with him, and she said no, and then she instantly regretted it the next day. It's just what you would do. You might feel like, oh, I don't want to do it anymore.
She was fine. The companion was fine. She had her mom. She had it.
But then you've got to remember what she said in this episode. When she left, she wanted to go find her dad. She had only just met her mum. Now she's done all that. She's met them. She's got relationships with them. Now she's a bit like, what next? I've gone from literally fighting gods to sitting at home.
She's waiting for the Doctor to appear. Like,
I think as well, because it's new in the fact that we very rarely get to revisit a companion so soon after their last series run, where we just kind of dip back into their life again. And I think the last time we did that was with Martha in series 4.
Yeah. And even then she had a unit, so she wasn't going to feel... She was still getting that adrenaline rush, wasn't she?
Yeah. So
I mean, I feel that yes, this episode was supposed to happen, that yes, Unit was supposed to be promoted, but I kind of feel the whole thing with Ruby, I'm still not convinced. I feel like something's wrong with the season, like that something.
She's in the finale. We don't know any. We can't.
I first of all, what ruined it for me was it worse than the Timeless Child to say the Doctor was fake. There's Whovians in the episode with Lux, and now it's like I'm sort of like questioning why we even have a Doctor Light at all when he's available to film. He wasn't so he wasn't doing other stuff. He was completely available to film. So like I don't understand why.
No, but that's because like he can't get back to they're in 2025.
Right, I know
He
that's the
can't get back to
storyline, right?
2025, so it's part of the storyline.
And
Right.
they have confirmed next week is like Doctor Heavy, kind of like what Midnight was. So he was
Well,
probably too busy.
I mean,
Didn't have
we're
enough.
supposed,
It was in the episode a bit.
I mean, we're supposed to have Joe Martin next episode, right? Supposedly, the fugitive
Yeah,
Doctor
man,
might be
the-
here.
That is
the-
looking very likely.
What?
As I said, that's looking very likely. Yeah,
yeah.
very likely because all the other leaks have been true.
I mean, I just feel that, and you guys know me for like so many years. This is the first time we're halfway, and my mind is already made up about the finale that I'm not on board with it. I just don't. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm just not. I don't feel that this is enough.
I know, but
That's probably a good mindset to be though, because then you won't overhype yourself, and then
No,
when it
but
falls
I'm saying that I see it as negative. Like I'm Mr. Pro Doctor Who, and this is the first time I'm having serious doubts.
I think
about-
that you are going through a similar thing that I am, in the fact that there's just too much good TV and too many good films out there that like Doctor Who just cannot compete.
Well, I just think it's boring. It's getting bored now. It's getting tired. Like Joe said, it's jumping
Yeah.
the shark. From like
I mean-
retconning the Timeless Children, like making that a big thing, to then literally jumping the shark to where he's in a TV show in universe, sitting down talking about Blink. Like that for me was
Yeah.
probably the lowest
You don't
show.
want me fighting goblins? Like, shut the fuck up. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what is going on here? And then the point is that they keep making less and less and less episodes of Doctor Who. And what did I say? I said, yeah, and then there's more of a chance of more shitty episode with less episodes to bounce off of to be good episodes. Like, and now what was the rumor? A rumor that we're gonna get even less. Like, I think we're going in the wrong direction. I honestly think.
No, I do, and I think it's an incredibly difficult show to get right, and I think that very few people have actually managed it. And if they do manage it, then they do something to change it up, and it just falls apart again. It's like Moffat got it right with Matt Smith, and then he started to write it different.
With the lack of episodes, which Russell's already said he wants more, but budgets, whatever, BBC. But what they should do is, right, you've got 6 episodes, use it. And I think they've done that better this year than last year. It feels more connected, but without feeling like, oh, we're just adding a mystery woman, which, yes, I know they've done, but you're kind of getting these mysteries. Why is Belinda with the Doctor? We found out it's because Conrad said. Then you're like, oh, what's going on with Conrad? What's going on with Mrs. Flood? Why is the Earth? What's gone wrong? It needs, I think if you're going to do 6 episodes, it needs to be more flux-based, where it's one big storyline, but you get individual stories littered through.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to be fair to this series. I think apart from Lux, this series has been better than season 1 by far.
Do you think she's a Ronnie?
Yeah, she's the Rani. I'm pretty certain of it.
Mrs. Flood, Ronnie, yeah, I would put my life on that.
But like, did she just wake up when she saw the TARDIS appear? Like, was that her like fob watch type of thing moments?
Well, she bi-generates 6.
Are they really going to do that bullshit?
Yeah, there's an Indian actress, I can't remember her name, who's been cast as a villain role. And this was confirmed by Doctor Who. Like,
I don't want to know about that. I don't want to believe that. That's not.
Well, no, it's true. She's confirmed to play a villain in this series, and we know all the other villains up until the finale. So she's definitely. So the rumor is she bi-generates in the end of Interstellar Space Contest, because she gets blasted into space. The new Indian Rani and Mrs. Flood Rani, they work together to bring back Omega, who's now a god-like monster.
Who gets blasted into space in the end of 6?
They all get blasted into space because it blows up the Interstellar Space Contest. And the Doctor saves them all, but because of the damage, Mrs. Flood bi-generates. They then bring back Omega, who's now a kaiju-like being, a god, they're the monster god, and they're the unholy trinity. That is the rumor but it's laughable. But listen, this is the same rumor that said everything about episode 1 was right. That the Doctor Who would meet his fans. Episode 2, that there would be a midnight sequel. Susan's apparently back for a cameo.
Do you know what? I can buy Omega as a kaiju kind of god, as long as he looks similar to how he did in.
He's going to appear as a kaiju.
Apparently, he's going to get like a massive being.
I don't believe this.
Like a
I don't believe this. This
Marvel
is
kind of.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, kind of like
this is nonsense.
stuff.
This is all nonsense. There's no way.
I'm not making it up. I swear to God, that's I'm not saying it's true.
The bi-generation was supposed to be a fluke, one-time thing that happens every goddamn billions of years. Not that it's supposed to happen on a regular basis now.
But to be fair, RTD even said at the premiere of this season, you'll find out a lot more about Time Lord mythology and certain things. So maybe it's a case that because he bi-generated, it kind of unlocked anyone else around him. Their next region. I don't know how it works. I think if it is true, I'll be pissed off because I think it's stupid.
So when does David Tennant show up?
He doesn't.
I thought he's supposed to show up too.
No, there's a rumor that he'll regenerate back into David Tennant because he's leaving at the end of the season. That's the rumor.
He's not leaving at the end of the season.
He's leaving. He's gone.
I think it'll be. I think that the reason why they're doing this whole cinema thing and doing it simulcast is because he's going to regenerate into a big name, and I think it may be just because he mentioned him in an in a interview recently. I think it actually might be Michael Sheen.
I don't think that's. I think it will end on him regenerate a bit. Journey's End. It will be like a big bush. I'm regenerating to be continued.
I really don't think I think this is all bullshit. I think Russell had put leaks out. I think Russell had put fake shit out. I think that there's season 3. And I think
Joe, you have to understand. There's a law in the UK. If you work for the BBC, you can't put out fake things. You get fired and sued.
Yeah, you can't lie.
You can't. You're not allowed to. It'd be complete. And they check your computers for stuff like that. You'd be fucked.
So he can't have anybody leak fake shit?
Not well. If you leak it and you're working as part of BBC production, even if
he can't have someone else, like if he told some people and then they do podcasts about it.
No, that would be the same thing because he told them the information. That's why you're not allowed to give stuff out. They take it really seriously over here.
Okay.
Like, do you remember those scripts got leaked and then the person got fired and fined for it?
Yeah. I just kind of feel like there's too much. This is all ridiculous. For finale, you want to throw the Ronnie in, 2 Ronnies, and an Omega, a kaiju. That's a little bit excessive.
Well, we know there's a kaiju dinosaur bone creature in the finale anyway, because it's in the trailer.
Well, it's not a kaiju, but it's a dinosaur.
No, but it's kaiju size is what I'm saying. When I say he's a kaiju, I don't mean he's going to become a reptile beast. I mean, like, he's going to be the size of a kaiju.
So what causes all this? Just a Ronnie experiment or like a fucking... I'm kind of confused. Like, is she doing an experiment and he's just involved in it, or because she was always like doing experiments?
She apparently is the one that founded Villengard.
Oh,
so it's part of a bigger plan. I don't know why she created Villengard. That's not
in the original.
Villengard.
Can I just say that
sonic screwdriver?
The Villengard wasn't in the actual leak, the main leak. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's not true, but that was
Villengard appeared in Moffat's first episode where he shut down the factory that made the sonic screwdrivers and turned it into a banana factory.
Well, we do know the space babies are in the finale.
Why?
They were on set filming the finale. Lots of things are coming back. That's why Moffat had to, when he wrote Joy to the World, he had to read the finale scripts for season 2. There's a rumor that Anita comes back from that episode.
How could you have all this in 40-something minutes?
It's not. It's an hour, the finale. I think it's 57 minutes because it's confirmed for the cinema screening.
All right. Marty wants to come in. Let me just see if he can make sense of this. This is going to be a little bit crazy. I don't know. It's too much. There's no way that all this stuff is happening.
Yeah, but if it's going to be the last series A for a while, or be
But
with Disney.
can I ask you a question? Who's
Might
really
as well
saying
go
that?
big.
Though? Who's
What's
really
that?
saying that though? This is just a fake narrative that's being created. I think.
No, but
This
it's looking more likely the fact that he's now deleted like the Doctor Who thing from his Insta profile.
that's
I mean, he still
nonsense.
supports the show.
That's
Well, it's not
nonsense.
nonsense. He did delete it. I mean,
He's still posting stuff on Doctor Who on his Instagram. There's a lot of shit.
Joe, I never said he didn't post stuff. I said he just deleted it from his bio.
Yeah,
And
but I don't believe it.
the fact that RTD is even saying he went from when season 1 promotion, it will be renewed. Like we're looking forward to it. So we
Yeah,
play.
he's talking about season 4 and 5 already. Like
Yeah,
I don't
but then
understand.
he's written it. It's not commissioned, and he's a busy writer. He's got stuff to do. He won't be on the show forever, so he's got to write it ahead. That's why he did the 2 seasons back to back. But you've got to think of it like this as well. Ncuti Gatwa, big star. He's off. The fact that Russell T Davies even said to Newsround, which is like a really big show for kids in the UK, "Oh, you'll grow up to be the next writers to continue the show." And he was asked if it'd be renewed. That's bad. Like that's not a very good thing to
But
publicize. Do you agree, Con?
we were never asked. We never heard what the question was where he talked about it like that. There was never.
Yes,
They edited it where they never said that what they asked him. They just showed his response. So we don't know the context of what that even meant.
Yeah, that's not true. Go on iPlayer. You can watch the whole interview.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to knock stuff, but it just
No, nor am I. I'm just trying to clarify. But I do think as well
like
it
none
might
of this
be a good.
makes sense to me. None of this makes sense.
But you've already said you're not enjoying this era so far. Like, you've not really enjoyed this season. Do you not think it'd be good for it to be?
I've enjoyed last season, and I didn't like the Christmas special, but I mean I did like Robot Revolution. The moment Lux happened, that was the end of that, and then it's just I did enjoy the lot, but I don't
Do you
know.
not know if it got cancelled for a couple of years, rested and brought back? It might
No, I don't
be
want
better
that.
experience.
No, I don't want to cancel.
But they've been saying for the last like 5-6 years, and this is not at you. This is like a consensus of in the wider Doctor Who community. It's been shit. Even before Capaldi left, really, like, it's just been going downhill, downhill, downhill. Maybe it's time to cut the cord for a bit, rest it, come back with some new ideas of new writers.
It's not. If it gets canceled, it's not coming right back. It could be 20 years before it comes back. There's no way it's going to come right back.
Maybe that might be a good thing.
We're all getting older. Am I going to be in diapers by the time it comes back on? I mean, that's like, you know.
I mean, I hope to be alive by the time I'm 40, Joe, but I do think.
You hope I'm alive. How old are you now?
I'm 25 now, so hopefully I'll be alive by 45. I hope. I doubt I'm going to. Well, it'd be unless I get struck down by illness. I don't think it's improbable to give a little bit of hope that I'll survive till then. So I'm happy to leave it till then.
Well,
you're what, 40? You're like 44. You're how old are you now?
51.
What? So by the time you're what 71, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. All right, so
give you something to look forward to.
We'll see.
We'll get Doctor Who the long way around.
I don't know what the hell is going on with this shit. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's making a huge mistake with this whole story arc. This cancel culture, social media. It's just like
I did have a point on that. Did you not think the same thing when we had Lie of the Land and that monk three-parter, which was all about truth and
shit? I hated that shit too.
I thought that was very similar in this one. To be fair, it reminded me a bit. At least they didn't have Trump being horrible about Trump in this one.
It just, I mean, I don't know. I mean, so the next episode, what? The fugitive doctor is trapped in the spider. Is that what that is?
Well, the leak just said she will appear towards the end in like a cameo role. With
him? Talking to him?
We don't know what scenario, who she's with, but it's meant to be a very shooty focused episode, so I presume. because it's meant to be about people of color. This episode, like the Nigerian culture.
Look, here's the thing: if she appears, it's going to throw the whole fucking season out of whack because people are going to be focused on her and why is she there and where is she in the line of the Doctor and is it connected to the Timeless Child? And they're going to lose the whole focus of what the finale is going to be.
Well, the finale could be that it's revealed the Doctor is part of the pantheon of gods, and that's what his species was. That's what the Timeless Child is, the god of time or something.
God damn it.
So
It's crazy. That's it. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, but
I just want it to go back to them fighting Daleks and having a bit of fun. Nothing
that was
too
supposed
crazy.
to be season 3. That's what it was supposed to be. Shooty's supposed to fight the Daleks in the Christmas special next year. That was supposed to be the last story.
It was cool to get a second
with the human Davros, by the way, because they were going to explain the Mavity thing that single event caused ripples in the future that basically affected the 51st century and him getting into the accident and him still inventing the Daleks without the accident, which makes no sense. But that the Doctor would have to fix that. And at the end, you'll see Davros back in the life apparatus and everything will be restored. But
I mean, I wouldn't mind that if that was a one-off, but I don't like the idea of a human Davros permanently because
it's not permanent. It's just because the thing is timeline screwed up.
Because I wasn't on for the robot revolution, I did have a question for you, Joe. What did you think about Alan being put in a life support machine, but yet when Davros was back, he was human?
I don't understand that either, and immediately making it that gamers kill people and they're okay with that. Like, he's not a gamer. To write that in there, like, I'm a gamer. Do I want to fucking kill the whole goddamn world? No. I can identify what's fake and what's real. The game is fake and real is real. But like, I don't know. I mean, he looked cool, but it made no fucking sense why. He's just a loser. That guy. I don't know.
I mean, something I did like the Robot Revolution. Didn't love it, but I thought it was.
I liked it.
But my one thing with it I thought was a bit weird is that the villain literally got turned into sperm and then a robot sucked it up and the Doctor just started dancing around it as if like that's okay. Not even any like.
I mean, that makes sense, don't you think? Because when Adric is about to die, he's fucking shooting the Cybermen. He's stabbing the Cybermen with the star. Yeah, it's like, you killed my motherfucking companion. So this guy was single-handedly responsible for Sasha 55, which who knows what the fuck she was to him, right? She could have been a love interest. She could have been a best friend. He's with her all these months. That guy is responsible for that, so he doesn't give a fuck, obviously, about that guy being stuck. What?
I said he's gay now, as they established again in this episode. He wouldn't fall for Sasha.
But I'm saying, no, but why couldn't he be bi?
Because he's established as gay in this incarnation, apparently.
Gay is bi, isn't it?
No, he's gay. But
if you're bisexual, you're also gay too, aren't you?
No, that means you're
if you're bisexual, you're bisexual.
All right. Uh-huh. Marty.
Hello.
Marty.
Would you educating on bisexual?
I've just walked into the middle of a conversation without the context, so I'm not going to comment.
No. Just to keep it with Doctor Who. They can educate me later.
No, I caught the leak that you were talking about there like a minute ago. That basically everything you've said on that leak about the season is what I have heard. Basically everything you've said.
The bi-generation shit with the Ronnie?
Oh yeah. Well, you see, I have heard that she's going to regenerate. She's going to regenerate. She's not going to bi-generate. She's going to regenerate into the Ronnie is being played by an actress called Archie Punjabi.
Is that happening in the finale? She regenerates?
No, episode 6.
So Mrs. Blood's not going to be in the finale.
Do you know what? I don't even know. I don't even know how they're going to do it. How like, even if she does bi-generate, how the fuck are they going to do 2 Ronnies and Omega plus Conrad plus?
Is Omega really fucking in this too? Like that seems to me like you would do a season with Omega without the fucking Ronnie and
Yeah.
all that.
Um,
How the fuck does he come into the picture?
Marty, did you see? Oh, sorry, go on.
He could be like the Emperor Palpatine of it all. He's the one that's actually pulling the strings.
well,
Well, I
think
heard she was trying to release him.
yeah, the reality's collapse. The reality war is basically because Omega is in the antimatter universe, and reality is collapsing to allow him to come back into the main universe. That's
So they got to put him back in the animated universe in order to fix reality.
yeah, the antimatter universe. Yeah, so that's the gist of it.
But we had no hint that Omega throughout this whole season at all that
No.
Omega is going to be in it.
Yeah, but
So they're just going to throw him in my face like that?
it might
We're only
be
4
being hinted at the whole time, and we just don't know it yet, as well.
Conrad could be Omega for all we know, in some like pocket watch.
Am I wrong? Okay. Am I? Because you know how we always envision how something's supposed to be, and then we build up expectations that it'd be so fucking fabulous, and then it's never anything close to what we want, right?
Yeah.
Could most of this shit be bullshit?
Possibly.
I reckon.
Oh, sorry, go on, Marty.
I was just going to say, I reckon what's out there at the minute is a mixture of the truth and bullshit.
I don't think Omega's going to be. I don't think so.
Because RTD has said, like he said in an interview, there is stuff out there that is genuine. He didn't make a passing comment.
I want to know from you, Marty.
Yes.
Did he fucking create this bullshit with Disney Plus, where it's really bullshit, and he just asked them to go along with it for a story arc, and it's because he's busy doing something, she's busy doing something, that season 3 is still happening no matter what, and he just did this for the sake of ratings to connect it with Disney Plus, that it's just bullshit. Like, I'm literally believing that. Like, I just, it doesn't make sense.
You know something? As far as a stretch as it may be, I actually could see him doing it.
Because you want to know why?
He's a little bit of a showman, isn't he?
Yeah, but you want to know why? Because I think he's trying to play a role where he's trying to make himself look stupid and say certain things where everybody latches onto and makes podcasts and videos, right? But then when he creates something and he's excited about creating it, he's not continuing playing the role of cancel culture, creating an illusion. He's excited to talk about, oh, I just wrote this shit for season 4 and season 5. And he kind of fucks up his whole plan because he's like a little kid and he has to get it out there. Oh, shit, what I got coming in season 5, you're not going to fucking believe it. But like, you're getting me, I'm getting dizzy. I'm getting confused. What the fuck is happening? I want to know flat out.
I'm going to say that you probably have a point, and I'm going to give an example as to why I think that you might have a point. When It's a Sin came out, RTD did a very, very controversial interview where he stated that he doesn't think that straight actors should play gay roles.
Yeah.
That got that show so much attention from the press that it probably in some way helped the ratings. As good as It's a Sin was, he says a lot of interesting stuff in the run up to. It's like when he said that it's not really comparable in the sense that he wasn't actually involved in that original series, but he said that he thought that Loki was really bad.
I saw that
LGBT representation.
Yes. This is what caused that whole Rogue mess.
And then he ended up going and hiring Kate Herron.
Well, no, he was. First of all, let's think about this. He's working for Disney Plus. Disney Plus made them made up.
But Kate Herron is not affiliated
with. Said that he hired her because of the backlash that they got.
He did hire her because he felt bad.
And he said it wasn't their fault. It was Disney Plus that stopped them from doing any gay romance with Loki or bi romance.
I just feel that when he does a mistake, he owns up to it years later, and then we see weird shit happening. And that's why I'm starting to question about the whole Millie Gibson thing. If he realizes he made a fucking mistake, because that definitely.
No, I don't think Millie Gibson was. I genuinely think that Belinda was always the plan.
Yeah,
you couldn't
always.
have cast her in 2 weeks because you said they cast her 2 weeks before they shot, and there's no way, even just how integral she is to the plot so far, you couldn't just rewrite Millie Gibson's character.
I mean, you could think I'm crazy, but I think after the finale, I fully expect to see the trailer to the fucking spinoff and the Christmas special, and I don't care what anybody says.
There is a trailer for the spinoff.
Yeah, it's already been shown. I can't remember where it was, but it was.
But I still feel that the Christmas special was done too. But I think it's bullshit.
I reckon we'll get a press release straight away about what's happening with the show. Straight away.
Immediately. This is why I'm saying that this is all bullshit, because listen, let me just say this one thing. You know that if you're going to make an announcement at Disney Plus before the fucking spinoff airs, it is 100% not that Disney's dumping Doctor Who. It's impossible.
My prediction, as I go back to a couple of minutes ago, is that I genuinely think that the cliffhanger is going to be that he regenerates into a big name.
I don't believe this.
Well,
I don't believe this.
I would say to Joe, when you're saying about the rumors, and obviously Marty kind of backed up what I had seen as well. Obviously, there's lots and I kind of agree with what Marty said. There's stuff out there which I think is true, but people are adding to it each time, so it's like distorted. But I would say next week will be very telling to see what the finale will be, because they said the original leak said Jo Martin will somehow appear or cameo. If she doesn't appear, I think it's anyone's game for the finale. However she appears, I do think the Brani Omega thing is probably looking certain. But I don't know. Another thing I did see that leaked, and I wanted to ask Marty if he had seen it as well, is the rumor that there is a Tale of the TARDIS cast list that was leaked.
With the Rose
that will it will air between Wish World and the Reality War, and it's apparently Time in the Rani, and it's with Mel and Sylvester McCoy, kind of like they did last week, Pyramids of Mars.
Yes, I have heard that. I have. Yeah.
Okay, so that makes me feel Rani very likely.
Did you mention the French subtitles as well?
No, I haven't mentioned that yet, but that also implies the leak was true, because there's a line in the French subtitles that leaked that says grandfather, and I'm quite off the top of my head. Grandfather, do you remember the tree we planted before we left home?
Susan's in it too. How many fucking people in the finale?
But it's rumored to be a very small one-scene cameo where she appears as a glass monitor, like Bill was in Twice Upon a Time. A glass avatar. She's not the actual Susan.
Oh my god.
See, I did hear one thing. I'm hesitant to say it, not because I think I'm going to get trashed on or attacked or anything, because I don't want to say something that's inaccurate and make.
You're speculating. Just say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's going to get in trouble. It's all just
I have heard that a regeneration scene has happened, and there is a big name. And supposedly that big name is, well, you can tell straight away with the clue I'm going to give you, is a very well-known Welsh actor.
Well, Michael Sheen.
Yes. Yeah.
Connor was right. I also heard that the regeneration scene, and again, I think this is something that was added onto a copy of the original leak that came out that has so far been true, but I don't believe it. But a lot of people are now claiming it is true. That the regeneration scene, there's a brief cameo of Jodie Whittaker who helps him through his regeneration, kind of like what happened with her at the end of her.
How many people are in this finale?
Quite a few.
If it is the end, though, for some time, it will be a bit like what Power
Marty, is that why years ago he took Jodie Whittaker out, because he said he wanted her to appear in Doctor Who? This is what we're talking about.
I don't think. No, I think it was just a general "Hello, how are you?" lunch. I don't think that was there.
It was something else about that.
Yeah.
Can I just say I don't believe that rumor with Jodie Whittaker? I just think that's too much but it could be true. I'm just
You're
putting it out there.
telling me there's 2 fucking regenerations that happen in the finale, one with fucking the Ronnie and one with the Doctor, or are you saying it's episode 6 that happens?
Well,
Episode 6 is Arani.
If episode
then-
6 is so you're saying that she bi-regenerates because Miss Flood still appears in the fucking finale too because she bi-regenerates?
Could be a
Now,
flashback scene.
bi-regeneration due to Omega coming through and reality getting fucked up and altering the regeneration energy? And not
Well, that would be
Toymaker?
good. I would like that because then that would explain why 14's face came back.
well, supposedly there's supposed to be. I don't know if you've mentioned this at the Interstellar Song Contest. The leak for that is supposedly it's been held hostage by like a terrorist, and there is like a big explosion, and that's what happens, and it damages Mrs. Flood.
I heard she gets blasted into space.
Yeah, because the Doctor gets blasted as well. Because there's that shot we see him like flying through space. I
And
think
she
they
just
all.
bi-regenerates in space.
But I when it comes, as I say, after the series, as we've already said, I think we'll get a press release. Now, the thing is, if Shooty is staying, we know he's in this play till August, right?
He's staying.
I thought it was till November. I thought it was till November the play.
No, I think it's till August, as far as I know.
It's August. He's staying.
I swear. Can I check this out? What's the play called again? Let's just get fact check.
August.
It's called Born with Teeth. Born with Teeth.
Okay, let me ask you a question. When is
shit,
RTD done with his filming of that thing?
August, 1st of November.
No. Yeah, that's what it begins the end of August and it ends November. There's no way he's coming back. At least for a Christmas special. There's no way he can do a Christmas special in a month.
Christmas special's already done, isn't it?
No, it's not. It wasn't part of the deal.
The last
Again, we're going by the
reality
fucking speech. He said it wasn't part of the first order. He didn't say it was canceled. He didn't say it was.
But they haven't done a second order.
Do you know what I think is going to happen, right?
Why would you call it a first order if there's an only order?
Because he hopes there's a second order.
I honestly think, I can tell you now, I honestly think that we are going to get a special this year, but I would not be surprised if they get Tennant. Would not be surprised for a second.
Or they do like a Jodie Whittaker Christmas special or a something special with someone.
I honestly believe that most of this shit is bullshit. I'm sorry. I think Russell just caused enough damage with his bullshit because he knows what everybody's talking about and he's using it for ratings. Rest in peace, Doctor Who was said in episode 2.
Let me ask you a question. If I'd said to you a year ago, 3 years ago, David Tennant will come back as the 14th Doctor. The Toymaker would be a big villain. Beat the Meat would be a villain. You'd have an episode.
I would believe it because I always thought that David Tennant was coming back.
If I said Sutekh was on the TARDIS since Pyramid of Mars, that Doctor Who would be meta. It would be in its own universe, and he'd meet Doctor Who fans, and there'd be an episode with a midnight sequel. You would say bullshit, and I'm sorry, everyone would say bullshit to half.
I would say bullshit that the fact that it's just ridiculous that Sutekh was part of the TARDIS fucking for
the thing is, like, I know, like, Russell's going now to do this new show, Tiptoe, on Channel 4.
Yeah, when is that done?
That hasn't even shot yet. It hasn't even begun filming. So he's going to do that, and the thing is, like, I'm thinking
how could we just not know anything definitively all of a sudden where we were getting all this information before?
Is he going to stay? This is the question.
Yes.
No, I don't think he's going to stay because, I think this isn't the first time that RTD has tried. Let's say that Shooty's leaving, right? This isn't the first time that RTD has tried to pull off a surprise regeneration.
Yeah.
He tried to do it with Eccleston, but he couldn't because the press leaked it. It wasn't officially released that David Tennant was going to be the next Doctor when he was the next Doctor.
See, I'm very surprised that it hasn't leaked already. That if there's going to be a surprise regeneration, very surprised because you've got a lot more things to worry about media wise nowadays than you did 20 years ago.
I mean, it has leaked because it's been in like the Mirror a couple of months before the season.
Like, how do we know that
no,
this
but
is?
the actual the fact that the actor hasn't leaked, I think.
Oh no, that's not leaked. But then again, is that just a name they've put out there to put people
Listen,
off?
if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to admit if I'm wrong, and I have no problem with it. But I just don't think he's leaving. Period. This is just all. I think everybody's feeding into like repeating the same thing verbatim, and then people believing the bullshit. I honestly think this is a game. I think that Russell has made Disney Plus be a part of this, and there is no decision because the decision was done already. He has the scripts done. He handed it in for prep work. Like Shooty was cut off from saying he's filming season 3. Russell's doing a project at the same time as Shooty. It doesn't mean that Shooty's gone because Russell has to be there for Doctor Who too, and Russell's not gone either because the motherfucker said he ain't leaving until fucking season 5.
I'll give you this. How come when Shooty did the Graham Norton show, when he was promoting Joy to the World, there was a clip and an audience of him saying,
Yeah,
"We're going to go start season 3
because he wants to create doubt that the show is being cancelled because it fits in with the story arc.
I don't think he's doing that. I don't think they can. I don't think they're that bothered to try and wind up fans. I think you just got to black and white. It's not doing very well.
Look, it goes back to which Sharon tried to teach me when you and Jack and all the Carter Empire made your fucking podcast ripping my book to shreds. That Sharon's like, any publicity on the books is good publicity, even though it was in a negative thing. And I was pissed at you that you put me in the face of Bojar. Remember that? You put me in the face of Bojar and all that shit, or Jack did.
That was Jack.
So the thing is that he is anybody talking about Doctor Who makes it trend. And there's a chance that if people think it sucks so bad, they're going to tune in to see how much it sucks so they can make fun of it. So regardless,
ratings aren't reflected.
I'm telling you, I think that this is a manipulation.
Look at what Connor said at the beginning of this cast. He said the problem is at the minute there's so much good TV on. There's so much on to watch at the minute. I think, are you really that bothered to watch a show you liked 10 years ago or 15 years ago to watch it be shit when you've got
Disney
no relevance?
Disney is not going to get the Doctor Who back catalog if they're dumping it.
No one said they're getting the back.
You got to think of it as a business.
In fairness, I did hear from somebody well connected that as part of them potentially renewing the deal, they wanted the backlog.
Yes.
So,
you got to think of it as a business standpoint. That what does Disney get out of it? What?
I said they can't. The reason RTD said, I believe, and I might be wrong, they want the backlog on Disney Plus, but there's an exclusive deal that Chibnall did with HBO way back, and that doesn't run out, I think, next year.
It's done now. It's done now. It's done.
Yeah,
it's done.
If it's done now, then they can. But I think at the time of the original sign-up, they couldn't.
Correct, but it's done now.
Yeah.
So that might help them wave towards renewing it. I just think there's no need.
That's the point. Is that this is all bullshit.
But if it is, there's no need to. It's all good. We've got a spin-off coming. We've got the rest.
Because the steps that he's taking to think that this is going to work is not going to work. Because even if he gets a season 3, he shit on people that even support him and manipulated everyone to get this done. He's going to turn off people.
I think if it comes back, if it's going to come back, right? Let's just put the facts on the table here, right? This show, people are saying, "Oh, cancel it, renew it, cancel it, renew it." The bottom line here, the fact is that it still makes. It may not make as much as it did 10 years ago, but it is still making the BBC a hell of a lot of money.
You realize how much manipulation they do to make money with this show? They put it in the fucking cinema every year.
right?
But Joe,
So-
like
That
you
makes
said,
tons of
bad
money.
publicity is good. Bad publicity is good. You just said, so you got to decide which is true.
So
But that makes
even
them tons of money in the theater. Tons.
they're going to keep the show going. Now, I think if there, it's looking likely there is. Now, if there's not, I'll be surprised. There's going to be a gap year now the next year.
Oh, there's no way.
There is.
I don't want it as much as you. I don't want it, but there's going to be a
Is
gap
it thing?
year.
Okay, so here's the thing. All right. And I'm not meaning to go against you, Marty, or Connor,
Yes.
or Louis at all. No disrespect. But
Yeah, none here.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful to any what you have to contribute about this or whatever sources or whatever who heard what or whatever. There's no disrespect at all. But in my brain, and maybe I'm old and maybe I'm stubborn, but I'm believing we're going to see a Christmas special. And then from the Christmas special on, you could judge if there's a gap year from the Christmas special. And I honestly think all you need to do is you throw out a couple of specials and there's no gap year because Doctor Who appears in 2026. But I still feel, even though they're doing the play, even though they're doing whatever, right? They could still get the goddamn season out. Just a late start. Like you would start the season in 2026 in fucking August, and then you go right into the Christmas special. You don't have to have it in fucking January, February, March. You can start in September even. There's only fucking 8 episodes.
Well,
You could do it in October or November even.
That is possible. If now this is me just talking about scenarios here. I'm only talking about a hypothetical scenario. If Shooty regenerates and it's say just for the hell of it, just say it's Michael Sheen that appears at the end of the episode, I reckon we'll get a press release saying Michael Sheen, 16th Doctor, filming begins the next season out August 26th. That is possible. That is possible.
Yeah,
Just because he mentions it that they can't afford it doesn't mean they're going to use the reverse psychology and make it.
There's another scenario no one's mentioned, which is, and again, it's possible. Say Disney does drop them, and RT Disney said that's fine. BBC still want to make it. It's one of their highest IPs. What they'll do is they'll just have to either find another partner, which could take a couple of months, or they go back to just do it in-house, but it'd be smaller stories like ghost stories, that kind of thing. They do that, but that causes a gap year. So what they do is they go, okay, instead of doing the spin-off at the end of this year, we'll move it to next year. Kind of they did with Class. So you still got something Doctor Who for 2026. It's just the war between land and sea. Then you get 2027, brand new Doctor Who. That is possible.
I just think there was no regeneration from Shooty. I think that what they reshot, that they revisited the scene of the crime, is that they're not going to keep it death permanent. I think that somebody dies, and then after the spin-off and after the Christmas special, he just reverses it somehow. Because they're not going to ever do an Adric type of death again, ever. And he even said he can't.
What about the regeneration music? The way it wasn't confirmed to regeneration, but the music they played from the finale, that was very regenerate. Did you all guys hear that? Did you hear that?
I listened to it, but again, I don't, because here's the thing. So you're saying you're going to get busy with a regeneration when you have the spin-off coming out? No.
Well, what?
You're not.
What's that good? There was spin-offs coming out.
Because it takes away from the spin-off, because people are going to be wondering, well, where the fuck is that Doctor, or where the fuck is this? And then you're going to be concentrated on the spin-off. That's not going to happen that way.
It might, no, but that'll get people watching by your own logic. Oh,
No,
which Doctor's going to be here? Let's watch and find
They're
out.
not going to get me to watch the Unit spin-off that has nothing to do with the Doctor that he regenerates. That's not going to get me to watch the spin-off. What's going to get me to watch the spin-off is that Ruby dies, he gets pissed off and blames Unit, and he doesn't help them and doesn't answer the call when they call him, and then they have to deal with the Sea Devils without the Doctor. That gets me involved. But him regenerating and then disappearing, and then that has nothing to do with the spinoff. He's not going to appear. It's just them they should just, the spinoff with Unit should just be Unit. Not the Doctor shows up in the end to save the day. They got to be able to wipe their own ass, and they got to stand on their own.
I never said the Doctor would appear in it. I'm just saying they could.
No, what I'm just saying is that it needs to. After all these years, there needs to be a fucking spinoff. with Unit, but it needs to be a series. And I think that if you're going to get Kate Stewart badass like you did in this episode, we're 100% Unit badass, the rating's going to be through the fucking roof with the spinoff.
She's in the finale, and
they're going to be no nice, kind thing. They're going to be shooting the fucking sea devils.
something that was confirmed that I've not seen anyone pick up was they released a cinema cast for Reality War, for like the cinema postings, and in the cast, Rose Noble was back.
Yeah, we heard that. We said that.
But it's confirmed now.
We heard that. Well, why is that too? How could you have her and not Donna Noble? But there's got to be can't you be a purpose? Or she's just going to appear as a cameo.
But to be fair, Donna works for Unit as well. So by that logic, why could
Donna?
But to be fair, that's just another character they're adding to this already. If it's the Rani, Omega, all of that, Jodie Whittaker.
They're under contract.
There is a difference between having Yasmin Finney come back and have Catherine Tate come back. Believe me, Catherine Tate.
You would never have Catherine Tate without the Doctor.
Well, no, the reason they can't bring Donna back, let's be realistic, is in that finale it's going to be crowded enough. Even if the rumours aren't true, it's still really crowded. They can't give Donna a scene like they did Rose in Empire of Death, where she stands there on a tablet and then just disappears because she's too big a character to do that to.
Yeah.
But you know what I don't understand? He's not going to sit down and drink tea while this is going on, the 14th Doctor. He's going to get in a TARDIS with Donna Noble, which explains who that man was that met that woman that was pregnant with the dead baby, that she met a man. That was a 14th Doctor with Donna.
What are you talking about? Dead baby pregnant? What?
Wait, what?
Well, I'm really confused. Sorry.
Okay, when Ncuti Gatwa's doctor went to that planet with the woman that had the baby that was dead, that she didn't know was dead, and her memory was fading, and he got the spoon from her. She met a man, meaning the fucking 14th Doctor was probably there when everything went to shit with Donna in space. And he gave her the fucking spoon that he gave to Ncuti.
Maybe.
Possible.
Do you guys think the spoon theory is true?
I've heard this, yes. You notice every time there's a harbinger, there's a spoon involved.
And there was the French audio, there was something about the spoon again.
Yes, there was.
So the spoon
is the what's the word? The fact of the spoon means that reality's fucked up, because that came from the Matrix movies, where he's like, there is no spoon. Meaning, you think you're bending the spoon. There is no spoon. The spoon don't exist. Meaning, like electrons and shit, whatever.
Well,
so in other words, that means that reality's fucked up. That's why the spoon keeps appearing, because it's a nod to the Matrix movies. There's also a nod to Gallifrey Matrix, fucking reality. It's the spoon. That's the whole definition of the spoon.
I don't know. I just think that it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks ahead. I mean, I think I'm looking forward to next week. I'll tell you that much.
Next week looks really good.
I'm looking forward to it just because of Joe Martin's in it. Yeah. Really?
Well, if she is in it, that will confirm a lot of things. And I think next week, I'm excited for it anyway, but I think if Joe Martin appears, then we kind of know what track we're going down. Whereas I think she doesn't.
We don't really, because the thing is that she was never connected with the Timeless Child. She was a something else. And then they tried to... The Master didn't even know who she was, and he's the one that said about the fucking Timeless Child. He's a Kuyu. I'm the Doctor. Like, he knew every fucking incarnation of the Doctor. He don't know who the fuck Joe Martin's Doctor was. Yet he just gave the whole fucking speech about the Timeless Child.
Does anyone think that next week we'll have another god, pantheon god?
Oh
yeah, it's Nancy, which is the African god of trickery and storytelling.
Yeah.
Well, that's the rumor, but they've not confirmed it as of yet.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
Anyone watch Midnight Unleashed? I thought that was quite interesting. The RTD said originally the script was another god from the pantheon, and it was the African deities.
Yeah,
which obviously.
Ashera, is it?
Orisha,
yeah. Which, to be honest, obviously is a better idea than I think the Midnight Entity. To be honest.
But
So
they
does
said
this season wrap up the God situation?
Yes, I think.
No more
I
God.
don't know. I don't know if they will, because he said that he likes the idea of just them appearing.
Now, will the
he
toy
did say
maker get freed to go back into his universe or no?
who knows?
I think this is. I think if I think it would be better if it wrapped up this season, and then the next season just go back and have your
Just
traditional.
Alex fucking killing everybody on Earth, and he has to deal with that.
Yeah,
Please.
I mean,
I think
just
it would be
please.
wrap out with duties, Doctor.
I think the biggest, the biggest, what's the word? Disappointment of this era would be if Shooty never got to meet the Daleks.
Yeah,
which is unlikely.
I still
I'm not
think he's
that
gonna.
bothered. It wouldn't bother me really. I don't think they need to appear, and I think when they do, well, they obviously are going to reappear at some point. I think it's going to be so much more refreshing because of the fact that we've had such a long break now.
I think they're
But
appearing in season 3, and I think it's Shooty, and I think it's all bullshit. He's not
I
returning.
started university when they last appeared, literally the month they last appeared, and I'm now finishing it in a couple of months. So that's like 3 years, and I think that's such a nice space where it's like I will actually look forward to seeing them again. Whereas when they're appearing every year or every special, it's so boring and predictable. And
yeah,
I feel that I'm old school. I want him to have his third and final season, even if I don't agree with what's happening with this season. I want him to have that one more chance. Like every Doctor is entitled to 3 seasons and out, and I want to see the Daleks and Cybermen and Weeping Angels and whatever. That's whatever.
well, I think all the people that have for years now have been saying, "Please break the 3-year rule." They've got their wish.
We don't know that though. We don't know that.
Well, it did get broken. It got broken with the 14th Doctor, who's only in 3 episodes,
He's still around.
which is stupid.
I think I don't know. I think it needs. I think the show. I think we'll find out 31st of May at 8 p.m. will be a press release from the BBC, and we'll know exactly where we're going. I think.
Yeah.
I already know where we're going.
Yeah.
It's just all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
It'll be exactly like when Power of the Doctor ended. There was a press release straight away confirming that series 14, who was the 15th and 14th Doctors.
First of all, Disney is not Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers will cancel a movie that they spent $400 million on and not give a fuck. Disney is not going to kill the $100 million spinoff that they paid for with the ratings. They're going to go into Comic-Con knowing that they dropped Doctor Who, but yet they have to pay to promote the spinoff. It's not going to work like that. There's only one announcement. Is the Doctor was renewed, and that's it. There's nothing else you could say. Then they can't do. It's not going to work like that. It's not.
Well, maybe
it's renewed.
By your logic, though, I agree with you. By your logic, then maybe what they'll do is we'll have to wait for a proper press release until after that the spin-off.
We're not waiting because it's just a lie. That's why we're not waiting, because they know it's renewed. That's why they're not. If it was a true Disney making a decision about keeping Doctor Who, they would wait until after the fucking spinoff. But no, this is why this is a fake announcement.
We've never been. That was just Marty speculating it will be after the season ends. We don't know when it will end. When we'll get the press release. Sorry.
We do. Russell said after the season 2 period, not before, not after the spinoff.
You've added the period. He never said period. He just said
after season 2.
Yeah.
And he might include the spin-off as part of that.
No, they're not. People are going to lose their fucking mind if there's no announcement.
I think at this point it's fair to say none of us know. We're all just speculating. There's no need.
We know.
Everyone.
We know. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. It's not about speculation.
Well, it is, because that's all we're doing. You don't know 100% it's coming back or that it's been cancelled. No one does, apart from the hire. Not me, not you, not Marty, not Connor. None of us know what's going to happen. Yeah. We can speculate, but that's it.
I'm not speculating. Season 3 is happening.
And it'll always come back. It's never going to die, the show. It'll always come back in some form.
I mean, I have heard like I've said this before, I've heard that season 3 is greenlit internally at
It's
the BBC.
done.
But it's what form it takes. That's it.
I'm okay. Maybe it's because I'm thinking like businesses wise and stuff like that from a business standpoint. Because it doesn't make any. Disney has never been the model of HBO and Warner Brothers. They spent $100 million for the spin-off. Now, let me ask you a question. Say, right? They don't make any announcement, right? And they air the spin-off, right? Let's just say the spin-off, and people can't calculate this. Because the ratings are through the fucking roof. Like unbelievably ridiculous, right? Now you're Disney Plus. What do you got? Your finger up your ass? What do you fucking do then? You're obviously gonna do another season of Unit fighting somebody else, but you can't do that if you dump Doctor Who, because if you dump Doctor Who, they take their show and go home. BBC takes Doctor Who, they takes all the characters and they leave. You can't do that if the ratings are through the roof with the spinoff. And Disney has to give them a chance to see if the ratings, they cannot kill the show that they built with their money and just guess that I mean, this is what the whole universe is about. It's not just Doctor Who anymore. They want everything to succeed. So even if Doctor Who is at the moment not doing that great, that spinoff takes off. They can't do shit if they get rid of the main show. So this is why I said, right? You do what's called a holdover, right? Where Russell wants season 3 and season 4. You ain't getting it. We will give you season 3, but we will not give you season 4. And it's just to wait until after the ratings are done. Because we have to make sure the ratings are done and they kept promoting it and promoting it and promoting it. So everybody is believing that the announcement is coming right after the finale, when the announcement should really come after the spinoff. But because now the pressure is out there, Disney has to make an announcement after the goddamn season 2 finale, right? And it can't be made that the Doctor Who is canceled, because there's going to be some legal fucking issues with the spinoff. Where's everybody going? Where's everybody going? Where'd everybody go? What happened? Where'd everybody go? What happened? What happened?
Hello?
What happened?
Hello? Can you...
Yeah, what happened?
Oh, fuck's sake. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what happened? What's going on? Hello. Everybody, reality is set in and erased the timeline, I guess. I don't know what. Why is everybody dropping out? What happened? Did I piss anybody off? That's what I just said. The reality got fucked up, I guess.
The reality war is it's already started. May 24th is here.
We just got canceled. It's amazing. Nah.
Are they all gone?
Yeah, I don't know if this is StreamYard that's doing this or which Connor.
Sorry, I had a call from Russell T. Davis saying that the show will be renewed if we all sing Doctor in Distress.
Yeah, fuck that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he wanted me to take over his brother.
I mean, that's the second option. So.
God.
What would you do if you were in charge, Marty?
You might do a good job, Marty.
What would I do?
What would you do? You're in the showrunner seat. Pitch.
So, I would want the show made. I wouldn't like. Don't get me wrong. I love like individual stories with like different settings and places and whatnot. I love that. But look at the trend where shows now are going. They're all serialized. They've all got one big story running right the way through them. And I probably would do that, but weave in individual stories as well.
A bit like Flux.
bit like Flux, but like 10 episodes on like, and everything sort of links in through each other. And
That's
there,
like a piece of time.
yeah, I would,
Marty, I have a question, Marty.
yeah,
With the contract with Disney Plus,
yeah.
is there a thing in the contract that if they're made to wait a long period of time, that they're able to film their own special to put on the BBC without Disney Plus? The contracts,
I honestly don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
because David Tennant, go fucking film him, John Sim, Catherine Tate. Let's go with that Christmas. Let's go.
I know. Well, David's going to be busy at the end of the year with Rivals again, so he's not going to be doing that. But I
Go to
would
his house now.
No, Joe, you can't tell people I have that information. 10 episodes. I would do a deal. I would do a streaming deal, but you wouldn't be getting the episodes early. You would be getting them as they air on BBC One, and it would just be like a proper serious. It would feel something a bit like Years and Years, and it would be like Years and Years and Black Mirror rolled into one. That's sort of the way I would want to do a series.
What if you just did a season, right? What if you did a season where doctors just show up with no fucking explanation? Like Jodie Whittaker's doctor is in an episode, and fucking Paul McGann's in an episode, and fucking there's no explanation because it's just time travel that she's just coursing her own. They're all coursing their own time stream, and just Kate Stewart's with this one and this one, and it's like, what if they just fucking no explanation, just do that?
Do you think if we don't get a renewal or a special this year, that is a possibility? Like a bridge thing, like a Lost Adventures season where it's one episode set between Girl in the Fireplace and Army. What was it? Rise of Cybermen, like a David Tennant, Billy Piper story. Or you have a story where it's like an Eighth Doctor meets Ace adventure. Do you know what I mean? Like a in between. Whether you don't have to fill in the gaps or explain bioregeneration or anything. It's just this is an unseen story.
The BBC.
What happened with the truth, Marty, about them asking Nicola to be a companion for a season?
There was a discussion that was had about Nicola Coughlan being the companion. There was a conversation that took place.
What happened?
I think it came down to, basically, from what I was told, it came down to availability. She just wasn't free. She just did not have the time. Plus,
why can't they just use both of them, Ruby and fucking Belinda?
Because RTD likes to keep it fresh. He always, every season
he's done
awesome.
If they had two companions together, that'd be great. Like that'd be like when we had Martha Jones and Donna Noble for episodes.
Well, we are going to get that this season. It's confirmed Ruby and Belinda have scenes
together.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I got to get out of this negative mood because I'm negative today. This episode pissed me off. This episode pissed me fuck off.
Rewatch it. You might enjoy it more.
Probably not.
I just think that the show it's too valuable for the BBC not to. And I think, there's lots of different factors. I still think that if the show goes away, people say, you hear the negative people out there that say, oh, if the show goes away, it has to come back and Bad Wolf can't be making it and these people can't be involved. Name me one studio in the country. I mean, no offense, Joe, you probably wouldn't know. But one studio in the country that has the facilities that Bad Wolf has that would take Doctor Who for a reasonable amount. Do you know what I mean? I can't see anything else.
I agree. And I do think I can kind of see this version happening if stuff doesn't work out. Because the BBC will make it regardless. We've seen that. We know they need the money. They rely on it for merchandise. And it's such a big IP. I can see them even retiring it into a slot where it's 3 specials a year. One for Easter, one for maybe Halloween, one for Christmas, New Year, maybe 4. Do it like that. And you just have one, maybe a bigger name who dedicates couple of months to do 4-hour specials, and that's how it goes on for the next couple of years until they get a better deal, more concrete, something. I don't know. It's all just
What
up
do
in
you
the
think
air. No, the truth is, none of us know. So it's all just.
What do you
could
think
be-
the ratings are going to be for this?
God. Overnights,
I'll tell
probably.
you now. Oh, sorry, go on.
Well, I was just going to say the weather's really good over here today.
Oh,
Mhm.
So I don't know. Overnights.
is that a factor, really? The weather? That is the longest running science fiction show in history is a factor of the weather.
Well, it's
Yeah.
true. That's why they. That was the reason.
Are we down to that now? That shit,
Well,
it's
no,
nice out.
it's the fact though. It's boiling hot here. When you have to understand in the UK, or especially where I'm from, you don't get good weather. It's very rare. So it's normally rainy or muggy. The fact that the last couple of weeks has been so hot and lovely, I think that has played a big effect. I mean, another thing is, no one I know is talking about it. I mean, even people that used to do podcasts, I don't name the names, but people that used to do podcasts and people that used to message me about it, none of them are talking about it, and they haven't done for years.
I know
Even
that
people
because
that
just getting people to do our show, half of the real Whovians are not watching Doctor Who anymore.
I was going to say, even a show like this, and it's no disrespect to you or any people that were members that aren't now or just don't want to come on anymore. I mean, 10 years ago, you had to fight to get space into one of these casts. Now it's like begging people to come on. It's sad.
And I don't have the time to do them either because I'm doing off doing my stuff too. So it's like, you know.
Well, you have to prioritize. It's not worth for your channel. You're better off doing gaming content now than Doctor Who because no one watches, or there's very few that do. Not, I don't mean no one watches. I mean like there's very few
No,
compared to.
right now a lot of my audience is gaming, really. So
Yeah, exactly. You have to do that from a business point of view because Doctor Who just doesn't get views anymore. I've seen a reaction channel actually, who I've followed for the last 12 years doing Doctor Who reactions. They used to every week, every time there's an episode. Now they're just bundling them together because like, well, no one really watches it. We're just doing it out of.
I probably make more money on my videos with gaming and fucking food and drink reviews than fucking Doctor Who, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's sad. It's just everything ends. Everything has its time. Everything ends, and everything will come back at some point in a new form.
Right.
I think we just have to be. The show's been a lot worse than it is now, and it's been a lot better.
I don't agree with that at all. I think this is you have the timeless child going on with Doctor being fake. This is a bad time right now.
I know it's been bad. We've had really bad times before where the show's been. They've announced, oh, it's going to be off air for the foreseeable because we want to invest in other shows, like in the 80s when they sacked Colin Baker. We're not quite there yet. I mean, we might be if rumors are true.
I gotta get out of this. I'm always Mr. Positive, and right now I'm not, and I don't like me not being positive. I don't like myself not being positive.
I honestly think that the show. I've said this to people. Like I work in TV, and I've spoke to people from the BBC and from other broadcasters, and what they have said to me is they've always thought the show suited an autumn or winter slot, like the dark evenings. They can't understand why the show is going.
Like Fezman is saying, right?
Yeah, why is it going out this time of year?
Especially at 8 o'clock in the morning. Like when I watched last week, it was really bright sunshine, lovely day.
Well, America, September. In America, we were trained like you go back to school, but before you go back to school, there was always like the telethon thing, right? And then you had the new season of every goddamn show in September. They would air advertisements for channel NBC, CBS, ABC, all new shows starting in September. After Christmas, it will be like that, a couple months of like just hiatus, whatever, and then they come back for a grand finale in June or whatever, right?
Well,
they were in for months. That was always the norm. That it just Star Trek Next Generation would start in September and then it would end in June.
It should be starting. It should be starting, in my opinion, in October, November time. Doctor Who.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
But maybe we're gonna get that now that there's a fucking delay.
Yeah, well, that's what I would hope if there is a delay that they do move it to there.
Am I wrong for thinking this way, Marty? Though, am I negative?
But you're not, you're not like Joe. None of us want this to happen. None of us want this to happen. And
No.
I've been watching this shit since I was fucking 5. Bro.
Nobody wants this to happen. We're just what we're speculating on purely, and it's not to piss you off or to piss anybody
No,
off.
I know. I'm not. I don't want you guys to think I'm pissing you off.
It's just being realistic and putting out possible scenarios.
Yeah, we're just speculating based on what's out there. That's all it is. Now,
You want to know why I get so vocal about it? It's because I had fun. Would have fun doing these casts with you guys, right? But then things were differently this year. I had people battling me, giving out my address, going after my girlfriend. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is all because of Doctor Who. Like, I mean, we've had trolls too before. Huh?
I said that the worst part is, whilst that's all going on and that person's doing that because of Doctor Who, you're not even getting to make actual casts on Doctor Who.
Right.
yeah.
And today, I hated the episode so much. I was gonna come on here and say, I don't know if I want to do any more fucking casts. I'm just if I'm annoyed, I'm done. Like I don't want to hate Doctor Who. Like, and I don't like what the fuck is going on at all. But
Well, we will. You're not as angry as the time when you threw Canine across the room.
I know. Broke Canine
That was it.
And I never got that back too.
What episode was that?
That was Jodie Whittaker.
When Jodie Whittaker was announced, Gloria was crying. I was screaming. I took Canine and I threw it across the fucking room and I broke Canine's neck.
That was probably one of the funniest days of my life to see the breakdown that occurred from everyone. It was just hilarious. Everyone was so united in, I'm never watching the show again. It's over.
And you know what else happened too? I had a Weeping Angel little thing. That shit was so razor sharp when that thing fell off my nightstand. It cut my fucking hand open. Bleeding all over the fucking place. I couldn't even believe it.
That was them saying, don't be sexist, give her a chance.
Jeez.
The thing is, like, the show at the minute, I'm just sitting here wondering about, like, let's just put ourselves into the mind frame now that it's not coming back till late 26.
I can't do that, bro.
I know.
I can't. I just can't.
I just think it needs to be. I say, as much as I love the show, I feel that it's too, and even people I know have said this to me, it's too silly. It's not. It should be treated as like a proper gritty drama, and I just feel it's not.
You have Shooty Gatwa's doctor screaming, "You are an ambulance! You are an." That's the stupidest line I've ever heard in my life.
But the stupidest line was
corny Doctor Who. That's corny Doctor Who.
The stupidest line was hashtag Doctor Who's dead. I saw it leak online.
Yeah, yeah. They keep coming up with new shit in the same season. Or 2 seasons. Jesus Christ.
I just think
put that in the show that you're trying to promote.
I just think somebody, if they do the regeneration, right? If they do the regeneration, they need a name that's going to make fans and the casual audience turn around and go, what? He's Doctor Who?
Why do we need to do that now? It used to be never mattered before.
Because it'll draw
people.
They don't have the money to do that. They paid all of them. They paid shit.
It doesn't need to be a massive star, but I get what Marty's saying. It needs to be someone you're like, oh, I'm excited to see what they'll do.
Yeah. And that's why I think something like Sheen off that.
Yeah.
Marty, I was told you were told he wants a female doctor, so how the fuck would that work?
I heard he wanted a female doctor, but listen, it's things can
change. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge is available because her show got canceled.
There's no way they're going to get her. Absolutely.
Why not? She wanted to do it. Why not?
Because she's
way too big.
She'll have a bigger price tag than Michael Sheen attached her.
But plus, she's doing a lot of stuff.
I thought you didn't care about that. I thought you wanted to be a writer on it too.
Right, maybe, but she's way too big now.
She's far too big. They need. They need somebody like a Michael Sheen or a.
But he's not. He's going to take a pay cut to do Doctor Who.
Well, Sheen has said recently, if Sheen at the minute is like basically spending his time in Wales now because he's opened up a theatre in Wales, and he wants to. He basically said like in an interview I think recently or not that long ago that look, he like any future acting jobs he takes, he wants to be in Wales because he wants to be near and have the time to manage the theatre as well as doing acting jobs. Plus, he's got a young family. So he wants to be based in Wales. So for me, I think it would work for him.
And RTD has said several times he kicks himself that he still hasn't cast a Welsh Doctor.
So,
like, you're gonna see David Tennant and him again together, but in Doctor Who, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean he's doing it. David Tennant's back.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: how long they're gonna keep David Tennant in the background like this?
They could do it forever. He could never get mentioned again. It's just an option. They've parked
And he
him.
could
It's
just regenerate still.
We don't know.
Because now we know that Shooty can regenerate because the fucking God of Light took one regeneration from him.
But that's what I don't get. Does that mean when 14 dies, he has to regenerate into Shooty? Or because Shooty was like...
Wasn't that implied that because you're healed, I'm okay? Meaning that
he has to become him.
Right.
That's what I thought. But it just none of it makes any sense. They don't explain it.
They never explain anything.
Unless they do through this, if it is true that there's a bioregeneration with the Rani, maybe that's how it's explained.
I don't like this. It's supposed to be a one-off, not a regular occurrence with every time.
Yeah.
I don't like this. Then it takes away the special thing about it. It's like people stop watching Doctor Who just from that. That was so ridiculous to see on screen.
Liam, sorry, I just look at the comments. Liam Neeson for Doctor.
I mean, that is
fucking wrestle on, and I will.
Liam Neeson's just like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for money, I can tell you I don't have it. But
if I hear that fucking exterminate word again,
it's a very particular set of skills.
I will prevent you from being born.
I wouldn't mind him. It would never happen, but I wouldn't mind him.
Liam Neeson. Do you know what? I wouldn't be against an Irish doctor. I've said it before. Wouldn't be against an Irish doctor. I don't know.
I'm sold this. Lux destroyed me, and this episode pissed me off. I'm just so angry.
I think Lux was so bad that it will have to take a lot for me to get like for me, that was like the show can literally get no lower. So
you know what pisses me off? I love Alan Cummings, and he got in the middle of all that. Like,
I just thought, what was the point of wasting such a cool idea? The cartoon characters are
exactly. That's ridiculous.
You did hate Lux. Well, I know you hated Lux, Joe.
I hate Lux. I thought it was awful.
I hate it. I don't like. What's the word? Meta? Is that the word they use?
Yeah.
I don't like that shit. I don't look. We've had some stuff in the past of TV shows that tried to show that they were fake. They never recovered from that shit. I don't like stuff like that. Doctor Who, stop shitting on Doctor Who's history. Like, what's your favorite episode? It's not when I fucking fought the Goblin. Shut the fuck up. I love shooting. Shut the fuck up, bro.
The next thing they'll do, because it's the only other show, and it's kind of a thing if a show's running out of ideas, they're like, let's say they're in a TV show and the characters find out, or let's have a dream sequence where...
Wasn't that Black Mirror last season?
The next episode's going to be, like the next jump the shark moment will be, let's do a full-on musical where they go to, like in the Marvels, they land on a planet and they have to sing.
No, the next fucking thing is that the Master was a bi-generation of the Doctor. And they're both the same person.
You know what, right?
There's always a twist at the end.
Why the hell? This is the thing that I'm thinking about for next week that's annoying me is the fact that why Joe Martin, the locations guy on Twitter, he's the guy that's mainly hinted at this happening, and he is very reliable. But if Joe Martin's in next week. Why are you bringing her in for 20 minutes or 10 minutes, possibly at the end of an episode? You know, surely.
Which is what's your going?
You know, why bring her in for that? Why not just give her a full episode?
Exactly.
Well, that's what I've done ever since she first appeared. Ever since their initial episode, it's been cameo.
Why?
So it's just, I don't know. I just think
unless the Joe Martin thing is a lead into next season. She's something else. Oh, there is. I'm telling you. Watch. We'll be on. We'll be on a cast. I'm telling you. Watch.
I hope so. I do think though they've kind of thrown the kitchen sink at this season to kind of be like.
You know that if there's if there's an announcement and they say season 3, you know I'm gonna have 5,000 videos up, eating that shit up. You may see every fucking thing on this channel. I might fucking dance, shake my ass, everything. I'll get demonetized. I might get a pole and I might twirl around it. I don't know. Like you might see.
We need to bring back all the incarnations of Matrix Lord to comment on the brilliant news.
You might have a bi-generation of that.
We want Sky Havoc to bi-generate.
Season 3 will happen, but I just don't think it'll be with Disney.
I think it's. I'm telling you, everybody's played. We were played. We're all played.
Okay, and I'll just say, if that's the case on this cast now, I will say I'm happy to be wrong, but we'll see.
From a PR point of view, Disney saying like what you said, Joe. Disney saying they're not going ahead with season 3, and then having to go and put out the spin-off and promote it, it would just kill hype for the spin-off.
Thank you. No shit.
But Disney are quite known for their TV shows.
They never do that. They never.
Can I just finish what I'm saying? There's quite a few examples. They've cancelled shows, and they've just silently released all at once, dropped the whole season, and been like, "There you go, watch it."
No, but the Acolyte, they released it completely, and then they said it was done.
Same with Echo. That's not getting a second season.
No, but Echo. First of all, Echo. They aired the whole thing at the same time because it was shit.
Yeah, and that's what I guarantee. If, and this isn't if they do cancel it after season 2, they'll drop all of the episodes of War between at once.
But War is not bad. I don't think. I think the problem is that with Echo, they should have never made that period. It was shit. Nobody wanted it, and they had people running shit that shouldn't have been running anything, and then they were left with a shit product, and they didn't back their product. But the spinoff I believe, is good shit. You know, I don't know.
Again, we won't know until we see.
It's. I don't know. I just think.
Bro, he lied to our faces, to your face. He said, "Don't worry about season 3. Everything's fine." Well, what the fuck does that mean?
I know he said it to me. I just.
What the fuck does that mean?
Do you want me to call him?
No. No, because you want to know why I don't want you. No, you want to know why I don't want you to call him because I'm afraid I may not be able to be civil. And if I say something, he might say, "Go fuck yourself," like he does everybody else, and then I'll get really fucking pissed. And I don't even want to go there. I mean, I have a good, like, I'll like his shit. I'll talk about it, and he likes my shit on Instagram, and I don't want to have any disrespect. I gotta trust that he knows what the fuck he's doing.
I've fallen into like a different reality here. Are you not? I thought you were referring to RTD.
We are.
Oh,
okay. So we got to give context. So Louis, let me explain to you the situation. Marty sees Russell T Davis all the fucking time, right? So when Marty asked him flat out when they were having coffee together, and being that he applied, he also, keep in mind that Marty had applied to be a job in Bad Wolf, and they told him that if he gets a job, he can't do podcasts. Right?
Yeah.
So everybody knows everybody's podcast. They know he's doing the Real Whovians cast. So Even Russell knows that. So that's why when he asked Russell, Russell flat out told him, knowing he's going to tell me, and I'm going to make tons of videos about it, don't worry about season 3. Everything is fine. Everything is under control. I do videos. I put that shit out there. It's from the horse's mouth. Russell told us. He goes in the interview and he says the complete opposite.
Well, if he does, I'll just say this. If it's not renewed, then Russell T. Davis is the biggest troll to Matrix Lord 212. He trolled you.
I don't think he lied to me. I honestly, not for nothing, I don't think he would do that because who's the biggest fucking supporter? Do you think you see me doing videos about cancellation? No, I supported him from day one and I still support him. I'm starting to question things, but I'm still supporting him. But like, I don't really think he lied. I don't think he lied to us.
You just gotta. No one knows what's going to happen. You've just got to.
Okay. Let's just sort this out.
You're calling him.
Yeah. I'm calling him.
No, but don't do it on the air. You got to mute yourself.
Russell?
Don't do that.
Hello, Russell.
Don't
Well, I can just see your blood pressure by the second.
Because you know what? You have everybody's phone number. You would jeopardize everything.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
No.
That gave me this flashback of when I was on a show with someone else who, Sammy Carter, I'll just name drop him, and someone said that Paul McGowan and gave an interview to someone for about half an hour thinking it was Paul McGowan.
Yeah, I do have, like, as I say, I'm fortunate enough when I work in the industry that I know people, and without going into details, Joe knows whose numbers I have.
You have your contacts.
I have the contacts.
I'm gonna switch gears. I'm gonna do it right to Louis. Louis.
Hello, sir.
Okay. So now we know that Mr. Sammy is Twitch streamer and biggest gamer there is, right?
I have not heard of anything since Sammy Card since 2014.
But if he's that big in gaming, he would have to announce the #1 gamer in the world. It is impossible, right?
I don't know.
Announce the #1 gamer in the world because he's the biggest gamer, right? So he is forced to. If I become the #1 gamer in the world, he is forced to mention me.
I'm not, in the nicest possible way, knowing Sammy Carter for as close as I did for that 6 months that I knew him, I don't think he's got the brain span to remember who you are now. So you're probably, if you got to speak to him, he would just treat you like anyone else. He's a bit like a goldfish.
He would have to be like the #1 gamer in the world is.
I didn't even know he was still alive, if I'm being honest. I thought he disappeared. I've not heard from him, seen him.
Now,
I wish he were.
Maybe, look, when I started this goal, maybe my subconscious, like maybe the doctor would generate into Peter Capaldi or whatever, maybe I thought about that. Maybe in my deep subconscious, that wasn't part of why I was trying to be #1 in everything in gaming, but he's in reality, because that's what he does is gaming now, totally, he would have to announce the #1 gamer in the world. And I'm going to tell you right now, yes, I will give you that interview. It is inevitable. You will face me again.
All right, Thanos. Calm down, Thanos.
I have.
Well, that's Agent Smith. Inevitable.
I have found his YouTube channel.
His real one's down.
Oh no, but his gaming one. He has a gaming one.
He's got a Twitch one.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to tell Louis that. So I found him. I followed him on Twitch, And then the moment he found out it was me, he blocked me.
Well,
I sent him a message.
maybe give me a link and I'll see if I can infiltrate and make peace.
No, we're not. We're not. I love Sammy, and you know what? The whole point was that David Aston created that whole war.
It was a big misunderstanding. It was a big misunderstanding.
Text and a group chat, and David Aston on Christmas, like years later, apologized to me and everything, and he came on here and he was telling me how he was drunk and he got Sammy to do this and that, and it should have never happened. And then Sammy pissed me off by flagging my channel, and then that got me crazy. We were so close. Come on,
it's what happened then was a drunken misunderstanding. It was misread
on Labor Day.
It fractured the whole community.
Columbus Day, whatever it was. Yeah.
Nothing's ever been the same since. But yeah, that's a butterfly effect. If he had drunk enough to pass out before he read that message and responded, who knows
David
what
Aston
universe
was Conrad. David Aston was Conrad and set the whole goddamn community by just a few words, just like the doctor telling everyone to get Harry Jones out of being a prime minister. David Aston became that powerful in that moment that started this war that just wrecked everybody.
Decades and countries and different ages, sexualities, it's literally everyone was affected.
You had troll hunters being born. It was crazy.
The saddest thing is that the community never recovered from it. It never grew.
No.
It was like a rotten cancer to the core. It just killed it off.
Right.
Small pockets survived, but
right. And now it's a situation of like, who's fighting with me now? Every year, got a new opponent.
I don't remember this at all.
Lucky.
I was at
Marty attacked me that one time. The Run for It Marty situation. That was hysterical. He got Dr. Freedom involved in that and everything. Or Dr. Freedom got involved.
Yeah.
That was
in my defense, I was 14 years of age and I had like 44-year-old, middle-aged men messaging me, screaming at me about something. I was like, I've been at school. Like, what is going on?
You fucking loved Sammy Carter. Did Sammy Carter Empire, everything, right? You fucking
live the dream.
We did cut up together. It was very successful. And then went on your show to we made up. You apologized. I apologized. Everything was happy. Sammy saw the cast. Then within seconds, I'm blocked before I can even message him to be like, look, Joe's apologized. Let's just make peace from this. And then he did about 4 episodes of a cast called I Know Who My Real Friends Are. And it was just him talking to himself because he'd blocked everyone.
He was so close with Modern Age Nerd too. Hayden made him music and everything. He blocked everybody. Blocked everybody.
Live the dream.
He was so sad. Even did you see his farewell video? Did you see his farewell video? How he's like, everything's toxic and he may not come back. That might be his last video.
Oh dear.
Sammy. That was sad. No. That video.
Once someone blocked me, I don't really I didn't do anything wrong. I knew I didn't do anything wrong. I tried to help him. I made peace. But there's always.
Did you take out his enemy? Did you take out Carter Watch, or was that your friend?
There is rumors that I was behind that. I can't confirm or deny.
You were, because weren't you trying to hack me too?
Joe, it makes me laugh because I've never had anything in my life. Right. I've never had a fake on my heart. On the Lord's side, I have never made a fake account. I've never hacked.
Master, bullshit.
I'm not the master. That was Jack. Nothing to do with me.
Fake accounts. You full of shit, bro.
I've never had a fake account. You've had more fake accounts than I have.
That's ridiculous.
You have thousands of fake accounts.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And you proved it that day when you unsubscribed from Jack, and then all your other accounts unsubscribed from Jack, and he was raging on air. That was. And then there was the Who crew, of course, that came along. Deluded D, he what come and went.
The Who crew. Oh yes, I remember this.
No, that's then Mike D went mad.
You know what the fucking sad part was? I could not I tried to watch your fucking it was like 4 hours. I could not do it. I tried.
That's
It was
because
so
you'd have
fucking long.
Mike D likes to hear his own voice, so he'd just talk and talk and
That was
talk.
so toxic. That was crazy.
So we've had a lot of ups and downs in this community. We obviously have the Omega files, that was on. Very
Jesus
strange.
Christ.
What the fuck, bro? What are you talking about?
Enough said. You don't, if people who know that community, and that's all I'm saying.
Oh, is that's oh yeah. Well, I know the cast you're referring to, yes.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
But
I didn't know that. Like,
I never met.
That person never appeared on my cast.
No. I'm just saying. I've spoke to Dr. Freedom. He sent me one message before being horrible about James's dead brother, and I just said that's really out of order. He then sent me a message saying your reputation precedes you and blocked me on Facebook. I've never been on a call with him.
That brings me to a question because in the gaming community, there's a Whovian that was part of the Whovian 2 war that's going around talking shit about me. That said that I wished cancer on people. When did I ever do that? I never did that.
No, there was that one cast where someone on your cast wished
But
cancer
that wasn't
on.
me. I even condemned that, and I said that was wrong.
Can I just finish what I'm saying? Because it was on a Who Fire or something. They wished cancer, and then another person said, "Yeah, I hope they get it really bad."
And I
You were
jumped
just
in
like, "All
immediately.
right."
No, I didn't say all
Well,
right.
no,
That's wrong to say.
you put in the cast, and then the next cast you apologized and said that you condoned it, didn't condone it, and it was wrong. You never backed it up. I'm not saying you did. You've never,
First of
from my
all,
opinion,
I have family members that died of cancer, and I wrote about it in my book. That would never happen. I never wished bad on anybody. That's ridiculous. But anyway, I still got some fucker that's going around trying to cause problems in the gaming community with me.
there's people.
James.
There's trolls everywhere. I mean, I don't know. You've had a number of trolls. You've got Who Crew. You've had Sally. You've had who else? And you have me. Oh well, we'll not go there. We had
you
had
tried to start telling me how my channel was gonna fucking fail, and I said I'm gonna remind you every fucking year on the date, and I'm gonna fucking run for Marty fucking story. That's a whole every fucking year.
It does come to a point though where you have to look back and think, if everyone's saying I'm the problem, maybe I'm the problem.
I'm not the problem. That's the whole point. I'm not the problem.
You give as good as you get sometimes. You do give as good as you get.
The 9th of March 2018. That was the date.
God. Fucking Dr. Freedom made a goddamn thing with voiceover and everything, reading my whole speech and everything.
Well, that just shows how much time he has on his hands, because that's just weird to waste that much.
And then you have memory trolling for a while as well. And
the final episode, I threw the memory name in the trash can like Spider-Man threw the outfit, and then he was never seen again. He went to Phantom Zone.
He's gone off the radar completely.
But they're blaming me. Making like I created memory or some shit.
Yeah.
But, it was George. You've the whole thing with George Back that he's never actually come forward for. A lot of that shit is down to him, and that will come out one day.
What is it?
That is waiting in the shadows. Oh, this twat called George Back. He's behind a lot of things that have gone on behind the scenes.
And you said he appeared.
The one he did in 2014, a long time, just before it all kicked off. I call him the one.
I don't even know who this guy is, and you're telling me I have a grudge with him, or he has a grudge with me.
He has a massive grudge of you. He's the one who waits.
Get the fuck. Why?
Well,
wait. Let me ask you. Wait. Was he one of the channels that I got taken down? I took down.
Possibly. I can't.
Years and years of footage, and he pissed me off, and I took that person's channel down. Was he one of them?
I believe so.
The only thing I could say to that is, usually we grow in age and we learn from our mistakes, and we're different people. If that was him, I enjoyed every minute of it because fuck him then.
Yeah, to be fair. Fuck you, George Beck. Fuck you, George Beck. George Beck thought he stabbed Joe in the back, but Joe got that knife, swizzled it round.
No, because you know, when people listen, when there's a war and when people are going against each other, you're gonna lose your fucking channel. And there was people that lost their channel that was for years worth of material, but because they kept fucking with me, I was smart enough to figure it out. Now I don't know what these new rules how to get channels taken down, because if I did, I'd probably get tired of someone taken down fucking instantly. But you know, there's new things now.
To be fair, I'm so glad that I've never had to come across TARDIS because he just I've seen stuff he's put on Twitter, and he just comes across like an absolute.
The last time he went against Sharon, he called her a bitch, and he doesn't even know her. And I never said anything about his wife, and he put her name on there, and then Sharon got really upset. She had talked with me about that, and it was like all that.
Shouldn't bring people into it that aren't involved.
She's not fucking happy, and I was like, oh, you know, I don't want nothing to do
I've,
with her.
like,
so.
He was taking the piss out of Faries the other day on Twitter for being disabled, and then he was being really homophobic as well. And I just thought, scumbag.
It's been quiet, and the only reason it's been quiet is because Sharon was really upset, and she told me, like, you know, to try to, not that she's telling me what to do, but she's really upset that her name was mentioned, and she does not want to do any of that shit. So she was like, you know, and I made the decision just not interact and just not whatever, but because I saw her hurting like that. But you know,
Hang on a minute. Is TARDIS own Irish? Is TARDIS own Irish?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh well, well, so's George Back, so I wouldn't put it past him if that was something.
Well, all I know
That's
is
interesting.
Well, that's Marty's friend still. We're not trying to bash Marty's friend.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Whose friend?
Oh, aren't you still friends?
I'm not friends with George Back.
We parted on mutual terms.
Right.
We're not friends, but we parted mutual terms. I don't get involved with. Get involved with anything. I've made my peace with him and his crew, so I don't get involved. I just stay quiet.
And that's the way it's going to be. Quiet.
Yeah. So
although because he was mentioned, it's probably going to start up again. But I had to say what I had to say, and again, you know, I never called his wife anything or said anything bad about his wife, and the fact that he did that with Sharon, she did not like that, and we had to talk, and I'm doing my best to just try to like ignore, but I don't like that situation. But anyway,
he should put a public video.
Is there any other? I suppose Scott probably hasn't seen the episode yet, and Sammy hasn't, or Sam DeMayer hasn't seen the episode.
He did see it. Okay, so yesterday I was sick with allergies. Sam DeMayer wanted to do a podcast, but I couldn't. He did see the episode. He gave it a 7 out of 10.
Oh,
yeah,
good. Oh, I thought he would have came on, but
I didn't. You know what? Today this was a spontaneous thing because Bill was messaging me, and I don't know if Bill was not available or not. Louis, I saw, and I'm like, oh, let me grab Louis because poor Louis. Every time I wanted to do something, either he's sleeping or I didn't send him the link or something, and it was my fault. So, you know, Louis really wanted to be a part of this for a while.
No, thank you. It's been really nice, actually. Especially, I've not really spoke to Marty before, so it's nice to be on. And as I said before, I wasn't saying anything to try and wind you up about what I'd heard coming up. It's just what I've heard. It doesn't mean it's true.
No, I know.
Yeah,
it's always.
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, if it all goes to hell, I mean, Russell, I'm here. If you want me to step in, I am here. I've got a marvelous crew of people, writers. We could fly one of them in from Staten Island. We can fly another one in from Australia. And we'll all go to Cardiff and we'll all sit together and we'll discuss how to move forward.
Yeah.
And I shall be showrunner.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Sorry.
I will.
And-
I will.
Do they have good
I'll ask
coffee
to Ro-
there at least? Let me ask you a question. When you and Russell had coffee together, did they
Yes.
make good coffee there?
They did make good coffee. I was at the BBC. We had coffee.
What kind of coffee did you have?
I think I had a. Did I have a latte? Did I have a latte? So, and he had a. What did he have? I think he had a cappuccino, double shot.
I got to tell
cappuccino.
you, if when he came to New York, if I was very sick at the time with him and Shooty and every, I would have definitely went to the fucking place that he went to just to bump into, absolutely. But I was very
Yeah.
sick when that happened. So
He had a cappuccino, and I think he had like a millionaire shortbread thing with it.
really,
So
Ooh.
yeah, so he likes his sweet treats. You know.
you don't have to say anything to Russell when you meet him. Then I'm pissed off. We're just joking.
But that's how you know how to bribe him now. Bribe him with some sweet treats.
I know
He'll turn me into a
Confirmation.
puppet, and he'll turn me into a puppet, and he'll kill me. And
there's an event tomorrow. I'm actually going to this event tomorrow in London. It's called Doctor Who 20 Years On, and it's basically it's basically an event to celebrate the show being back 20 years, and like it's like Camille Kaduri, Jackie Tyler's going to be there. The directors of a few of the first episodes are going to be there. Rob Shearman's going to be there.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, Rob Shearman's going to be there. So it's in London tomorrow. So I'm heading to that. So that'll be a fun day tomorrow. Lots of Whovians around, and yeah.
See
it'll
what
be-
information
could we
you pick
get
up.
a fucking sequel to that Happiness Patrol with the Candyman? I
Are you
mean, is that
serious?
so? No, I'm fucking dead serious. I was thinking about that. I said, if I became a fucking millionaire tomorrow, I'd fucking fly out there and say, I'll pay people. Let's go. Get Sylvester McCoy, get Sophie Aldred. Is that guy, the voice still around for the Candyman?
Oh, I'm sure they could recreate it if he's dead.
Oh, fucking, let's go.
Well,
Why can't we
could
do a
do a tale of
memory?
the
Why can't we do a memory? Yeah, why can't the TARDIS just land, the memory TARDIS, and he go revisit the Happiness Patrol?
Oh my god. I've just seen the future. Joe's first season as Doctor Who. The finale is the end. I very much couldn't keep calling myself the Candyman, now could I? And then all of a sudden it will cut to watch this Tale of the TARDIS of Sylvester McCoy and Ace.
I fucking love
Is
that.
it
They play the
the
music,
Happiness Patrol?
and then the fucking doctor said some fucking thing, and then he fucks up the Candyman. Then he comes back and he fucks up the Candyman again, and like, and Candyman screaming at him and shit. Oh my god,
Who can make the sun rise?
that's fucking amazing. I want, like I said, if I was doing it, I would have a fucking Return to the Happiness Patrol Candyman episode. I would do an episode where the Fifth Doctor and Tegan encounter the Mara, like right now, because they teased that in the fucking box set that Pete McTeague wrote.
Then we get the no. I know what the finale of that series would be. I know exactly what the finale of that series would be. It would be 14th Doctor, Donna Noble, and John Sims Master.
And I would also want Perry to choke out the Sixth Doctor. 100% in the beginning of the episode. Like she just and she's choking the shit out of him.
You
I want
want
to see his tongue out, like where the doctor could die. And say, oh my god, doctor, I was possessed. I'm sorry.
No.
I
I've got an idea. Perry has to kill the Sixth Doctor in his bi-generated form because he's quite large. So you can get diabetic blood to throw in the face of the Candyman, and the diabetic blood.
Don't.
Jesus Christ.
That's not nice.
Don't want it. It's a great storyline. I think it should be made.
Paul McGann eventually get him. He's available. Paul McGann. Grab him.
Or even, I don't know why they don't even do animated episodes of old Doctors.
Where the hell could they place Joe Martin's Doctor between when? Because it's definitely not the second and third Doctor now. That was ruled out. So would it be seventh Doctor in all those years that he was away? Like he maybe became Joe Martin, then he became seventh Doctor again?
Originally, it was meant to be, and if you look at the season 12 manuscript they give you of Doctor Who magazine when it came out, after the season 12 came out, it did say the original premise was she would meet a doctor from the future. Then they changed it to fit the timeless child. So I think it would work better if she's like Doctor 47 or something.
Yeah, I still don't think I think she's a future doctor. Yeah.
What if shooting Atma regenerates into her in the finale?
I would be okay with that, honestly.
I would be too. That would make me happier because then
I would be on board. I don't want him to regenerate, but I would accept that. I would be on board because you know what? I want her to be able to have episodes, not Big Finish. I'm talking like real shit. And then if they did specials with her next year, I would be on board with that, 100%. But
Yeah,
that's me. But I am like pro Shooty, and I want Shooty's third season, and I feel that if he did a season without the gods, and he's fighting Davros, and he's fighting the Cybermen, and he's fighting the Weeping Angels, and he's fighting all the classic monsters and shit, that is where he'll be the defining moment as the Doctor. That would be his best work.
Well, when he goes, "Oh my God, I am the Candyman, God of sweets."
No, I honestly think that Shooty being angry would be a sight to see as the Doctor.
Well, we saw it today's episode. It was his best performance, but
and I couldn't believe
when he was
that. I didn't think that was him. I thought that was fake. I was like, this can't be him saying shit like that.
It was a bit weird how the TARDIS, he just woke up and he wasn't. What was that about?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that was real. I think that's Mrs. Flood.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because she's like, who's Belinda?
The only thing that makes me think that, though, is how would that explain how the Doctor knows who Belinda is?
From Joe Martin's Doctor.
But where's Joe Martin coming?
Tomorrow, next week.
What, and she go? But then how did she know who Belinda was?
Because she's a future fucking Doctor, probably. That's why.
Okay, well, that would work.
He said, yeah, because the Doctor said in the Robot Revolution when he met Belinda, he said a man told me about it.
Oh man! Yeah. Oh, a man told him about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's Conrad then, right?
Yeah.
So that must be real. That scene.
I don't know how they're. He is.
Did anyone? Oh, sorry. Go on, Marty.
No, I was just going to say he is back in the finale, but I just don't know how they're going to set that up.
Did anyone else
mind control powers?
Well, if the Rani's set him free, did anyone else think when she said, "I'm the governor," I thought she was going to say, "I'm the boss," and then it would be like, "Oh, she's the boss." I mean, it still could be.
She's the boss of Meep Beep the Meep.
Yeah, and because what did the Meep say? My boss likes two-hearted creatures.
Yeah,
and the Rani's known for being like a weird for creatures and biology. So
was she always the Rani, or did she have a chameleon arch that she woke up when she saw the TARDIS? Because she dropped her groceries. Remember that?
Well, the thing is, right, this goes back to the church in Ruby Road. Because when you first see Mrs. Flood, she is like an old little lady, and there's nothing suspicious about her. But the second she sees the TARDIS take off, she's looking at it, and then you come back and she's completely different personality.
Yes. So maybe that was the chameleon arch thing.
Did anyone else notice? Well, she started drinking alcohol. Like you said, she was all sweet and innocent, and then she sits there waiting with like a whiskey flask, hip flask, and it's like, oh, that's not so. Not saying if you have a hip flask you're evil, but it kind of changed her persona. So I could think, and Russell did say, actually, I remember an interview at the time for Series 2. He said that Ruby's story is very much Belinda's story is very much connected to the overall story of Ruby Sunday.
How is that? How is Belinda connected to Ruby?
Well, it's like the Doctor and Ruby's story. Belinda's very connected to it, so maybe there's a reason.
They're not going to make it that Belinda's a sister or nothing like that, right?
We are going to see Belinda's dad.
But will we see Belinda's mum
Who's that?
as a new? He's just a random guy, nothing special. But could Belinda's mum turn out to be the? Because we know it's an Asian actress who's the other Rani.
Oh,
Could she be? Could that be a thing?
What?
that's
What,
a good
that
point.
the Ronnie's her daughter? I mean, that she's the daughter to the Ronnie?
I mean, possibly. Imagine if the end of the first part, the end of the cliffhanger is the Rani's like, "I'm your mum. You have to either save me or kill the doc. Like, let us win or the doctor die. Who are you going to pick? Let your mum die?" And because she's so tormented, she picks her mum, not realizing it's the Rani, or not believing it. And then
So wait,
that's
so
why.
if this by generation is true, then the mother is the young actress.
Could be, yeah.
She's not young. She's in her late 50s.
Is she?
So,
She looks very young.
She's
so at the end of the 6th episode, the Ronnie bi-generates.
Yeah, she's 52.
We know. Oh, 52. Sorry, but we know that she goes bareback horse riding in a scene.
What?
I think.
Yeah, she does.
Did you ride a horseback as the Ronnie?
Yeah, the Rani.
Episode 7 opens with her on like horseback.
But the Ronnie rode a horse in the classic series.
I actually think I'm onto something now. I think Belinda could be her mum, like the bi-generated Rani. Maybe she's fob watched. Maybe they both are, Mrs. Flood and her. Or maybe it's a trap. She has a baby just to mess with the doctor, because the doctor won't want to harm Belinda. Belinda will be torn between saving her mum.
Do you think that Belinda's going to die at the end?
I don't think she'll die, but I think it'll just be the big setup is that Belinda has to choose to save the doctor or her mum, and she lets her mum win. And because the reality war,
that's my generation. That's so confusing.
The reality war does open with the doctor being defeated. It says in the synopsis, it says the doctor deflated, alone, defeated.
At the beginning of the 6th episode.
Beginning of episode 8, the reality war. So something happens between Wishworld and then. So I'm thinking Belinda has to make a wish, save her mum, save the doctor.
He is going around in episode 7 with that blue pinstripe suit and the bowler hat and like the briefcase, and apparently he is going by the name John Smith.
But he doesn't know who he is.
Yeah. Maybe Belinda has to pick which reality to choose. And in this new reality, the Rani's in charge, Omega's back, played by Conrad maybe, or whatever happens. And then the doctor's just John Smith in this new reality, and he doesn't know.
Yeah. Well, apparently Conrad is, I've said this before, Conrad, from what I've heard, is apparently has like mind control abilities in the finale, where like he can influence and control people and bend them.
Wasn't he originally supposed to be the grandson of Miss Flood?
There was rumors of that, but I don't think there was anything to that.
Well, there's posters from the finale, and it's like Mayday, and it's like questions aren't required.
Yes, questions cause problems. Yeah,
messages.
Well,
yeah,
we have to get past. We have to get past. So this at least. What's the odds that Joe Martin's not in the 5th episode?
50-50, I would say.
50-50. But I lean to the fact that she is in it.
If she appears, she would appear again.
I don't think she'll appear again because the original leak only specified she would cameo. So I don't.
They're going to say who she is eventually. They're going to say where she falls.
Well, maybe not. Maybe it's the one-off tease, and then in another couple of years they'll bring her back. I mean, we don't know. It might be absolute. It might just be a reference, like Marty was saying in the.
Last year, Marty, we heard that David Tennant filmed stuff too for the finale. Wasn't that
I did hear something that Tennant had done something for the finale, but whether that's true or not, we'll have to see.
But it's like I said though, with these leaks, they get spread around so much that stuff gets diluted or twisted and added.
Yeah,
so it could have just been, because it's an episode set in Nigeria, he says something like, "Oh, I've only ever been black once before as a female doctor." and it's like, or a picture of Joe Martin or something. Like, I've been here before when I was my first Black Incarnation,
Well,
and then that's
He
all
ain't
you.
gonna say that. He ain't gonna say that.
well, the thing is, right? There is something that I don't know if it's going to get referenced within next week's episode or not, but it is in the background of. So they basically, the whole idea next week is that basically they land in Lagos in Nigeria, and there's these 5 guys who are missing, and they're missing and the doctor and Belinda are trying to track them down, and they walk into a barber shop, and they find the 5 guys who are missing, and they're in the barbershop, but the barbershop is actually the lair or the place or where Anansi is. But suppose the whole idea of Anansi is like you have to feed the spider, tell its stories.
Brings it back into him.
Yeah. And there is a photo supposedly on the wall. Now, whether it's just an Easter egg or whether it's actually going to be called out, there is a photo on the wall in that barbershop apparently of 14 and Donna.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh.
There is a
Well,
photo.
maybe that's how Joe Martin comes into it. Maybe one of his stories is as her as a doctor.
Could be.
A bit like they did in Was it Once Upon a
But
Time?
how does she appear though connected to the story?
That's it. I don't know. I don't know. But there is a photo of and it's the photo of do you know the photo they did on Doctor Who magazine for the 60th? And it's like in space with them like it's like a photo, like it's like the purple background.
I know the one you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that photo.
So does Shooty think Shooty has interaction with Joe Martin's doctor? Like,
I think he will. I think he will. Or I think it's gonna be, I think the most likely scenario what I can think of for next week is that I think that I think it's going to be revealed that maybe Joe Martin's doctor was there before. I think it might be that she has been in the clutches of like Anansi's lair or domain or something like that there. And when he
she helps him?
No, I think it's going to be like, this is just me theorizing, but I think the doctor will walk in and it'll be revealed that it's Nancy, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm the doctor," and then Nancy might be like, "You're not the first doctor to walk in here."
And then it shows a projection of her or something.
It could show her, yeah, you're not the first. You're not you're a doctor. You're claiming to be an alien. There was another doctor here before, and it could be Joe Martin.
So it's not going to actually be her, maybe.
After you said about the stories, you have to feed it stories. I think realistically, and it's not what I want to see, but I think realistically it will be here's a story of me when I was the fugitive doctor, and it will just be like a very brief cameo, a bit like when Jodie Whittaker did it, and it flashed between her and Joe Martin. You just see a little story and story.
All right.
Because that makes most sense.
But how will he know that? Because he hasn't got the memories. That's the thing.
Well,
No, he has
I
Jodie
guess
Whittaker's memories.
maybe
He has the 13 Doctor's memories, and he counted the fugitive doctor, but he doesn't have her memories.
Maybe when that fob watch, when what were they called? Azure and Azure, and what was the other guy called?
The Fox.
Swarm.
Yeah, maybe Swarm and Azure. Maybe when they were playing around with the fob watch and they kept putting, because there was a bit of regeneration as you went in here, they took it out again. Maybe some memories retained.
Yeah,
I don't know.
All right, guys, I gotta get going. Unfortunately,
no worries.
It's been great, Louis. Thank you, Connor. Thank you for appearing. I know he had to go, and Marty, thank you. We'll be back the rest of the season doing episodes, regardless of what I said. I'm just gonna finish it off, and then also do the spin-offs too. So thank you, guys. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.
God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.